Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to share with you guys another product, and this is a product that I've reviewed in the past. It is a product that is, it's not a sponsored product or a sponsored video. I have no affiliation with the company, but I wanted to let you guys know about my experience. And you guys know that I always share products on the channel, whether it's something that I've received as a sponsorship deal, whether it's something I was sponsored to review, a service, whatever it may be. I always like to share it with you guys. And especially, you guys know I always come back around if it's something that I feel like I've been wronged on. Man, I just am like a pit bull. I do not stop. Like, I'll never stop. So I don't let anything go. So I feel really wronged on this product. And this is this product right here. And again, guys, you guys know that I am really a loudmouth, a spokesperson, I think a role model. Nah, maybe not, but I am definitely a spokesperson for the little guy, for the guy who basically like doesn't, who gets screwed by a company. And I'm always willing to tell my side of the story with products. We spend good money on products. We spend our hard-earned money on stuff, and I gotta tell you. All products have a warranty, and yes, there's good and bad luck with things, and you can have good luck. Something may last you a long time, but one thing that really irks my chain is when you have a company who doesn't honor their warranty and makes excuses for it. Let's talk about this right here. So this is the Harmon Kardon Invoke. And this is a smart speaker. So this is Microsoft's answer to your Amazon, we're not going to say her name, right? Your Amazon Assistant or your Google Home Assistant. If you're not familiar with what those devices are, basically they're smart speakers that allow you to use voice commands to control different things. So they can turn on music, they can play music. That's what a lot of people use it for. They can give you information. It's basically like having a voice-activated assistant, basically. That's why they call them smart assistant. So the original ones were really the Google Assistant and the Amazon product, and those two are really the main players when it comes to it. They're both great devices. They're super affordable, and in some respects, depending on which one you get, they sound really good. There are the ones that are mainly just for the smart assistant, but you have a lot of options. You can get basically a entry-level $20, actually $9 Amazon product. We're not going to say her name. We'll call her A, right? You can get one of those for $9. I got mine from Best Buy, and just hook it up. You bring the speaker, basically, hook it up to your own system, your own smart speaker, or your own speaker. It basically converts your stereo or any kind of audio device you hook it up to. It basically makes it a smart speaker. It is fantastic, and there's so many different options. If you get the Google Home, they have the Google Home Max. They have other products, other third-party companies besides Google making those products. So there's lots of different ones to choose from. Now, Harmon Kardon is a brand that I've always been really fond of. I've always liked cosmetically what they look like. I've always thought there's a real level of class when it comes to their audio components. Also, they're somewhat affordable. You do pay a little more for them than if you're going to get some of your mainstream brands like Sony or Kenwood, and we're talking home audio here. Harmon Kardon has made some really great looking, I think personally, one of the nicest looking home audio components in all time, right? I love their old school, and I don't know if they still, I've been a little bit out of the loop when it comes to home audio, because home audio is like this. Basically, you get it, you have it, and then you only replace it if it goes out, right? You're not really looking to upgrade. I know Dolby Atmos has come out and all these different things, but ultimately, for me personally, the 5.1 Dolby Digital system is really all I ever need. They have 7.1, 7.2, 9.1, 9.2 Dolby Atmos, all these different things, and for me, I've just always been happy with standard 5.1 Dolby Digital. It works for me. I don't really need anything more than that. I'm very happy with it. And in some cases, some of my audio equipment is just basically soundbar. So like my 70-inch downstairs Vizio soundbar, I love Vizio products as well. But again, if I was going to replace one of my receivers, one of my Dolby Digital receivers, I would definitely look at the Harmon Kardon. I think that if it was going to be something that you're not going to see, or that you are going to see cosmetically, they're really nice looking. And they make a good product. Now, this is not one of those products. So again, this is the Harmon Kardon Invoke. This is Microsoft's answer to a smart speaker. This is something that Microsoft kind of came out with, I think, a little too late to the game. This is their Cortana. And basically it does the same thing that your Google Assistants do, that your Amazon smart speakers do, but with the exception, it doesn't play well with many devices. you know, originally when I got these smart speakers, when I first got them, Amazon worked with a lot of different companies, a lot of different brands, and Google, not as many. They never shut up though.
I don't understand.
Sorry guys. So, and that's the reason, let me get my train of thought back here. So the Amazon product worked with a lot of different brands. So if you wanted certain things that you had around the house to work with a smart speaker, you had to get the Amazon product. If you wanted the fantastic sound quality, and I personally think that the the standard Google Home is one of the best sounding smart speakers that you can buy. I mean, the bass output out of it is truly remarkable. So when this came out, it just wasn't something that really caught on. You know, the market was already flooded with the Amazon Assistant and the Google Assistant. So this is something that really was originally about $250, pretty expensive. Their whole thing was they really wanted to make this thing sound amazing, right? For a smart speaker, right? And I think when you feel this device, when you pick it up, there is definitely a level of quality with the build. You can just feel that everything is really well made. There's a lot of speakers going on in this. You can definitely Google it. I'll put a link in the description to where you can pick this up, where you can read more about it. But the reason I bought this was because the price, because it was something that just never really caught on. And they do have collaborations with Amazon. They do make their own smart speaker that is Amazon driven, and I believe they make one for Google as well. This was Microsoft's, and unfortunately it just was a little bit late to the game. It doesn't work well with a lot of devices, or it doesn't work with a lot of devices. The only device that I personally have in my smart home, and you guys have seen my videos, I have a lot of smart home tech. Really the only one that works with this is my LifeX bulbs. So very mainstream. It was very similar. It's very similar to what Google did in the beginning. When Google's came out, the Google Smart Home Assistant, the Amazon product worked with way more different things, and as time has gone on, Google is really on par with the Amazon Assistant. So really when you buy one, it really is almost coming down to personal preference. They both work really well with lots of different devices. The advantage to the Amazon product is the fact you can bring your own speaker. You can use pretty much, I believe, all, and don't quote me on this, but most of, if not all of the Amazon Assistants with a separate Bluetooth speaker. So you can basically have your smart home assistant and then connect it to a Bluetooth speaker and use that instead. So let's say you have an Echo Dot, which isn't designed to really sound good. It's mainly just the assistant. You can say, hey, you know what? I want it to sound better for music. I want it to sound, you know, more pleasing. You can get something like this. So the reason I bought this was because you had the Harmon Kardon name. You still had the smart capabilities, so you can play like music and stuff like that. For me, when this did work, and this is what we're getting to, I mainly used it to listen to local radio stations. I would say, hey, Cortana, play you know, this local radio station, and it would play. And I would use this quite often in my office just for a little bit of background noise. They sound pretty good, but I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed in the sound quality compared to the Google Home. Now, it does get loud, but when you compare the price of what this actually costed for $250, the only reason you can get it for about $40 nowadays is because nobody's really buying them. So what I did is, my idea, and I did a video on this, was to use it mainly. You can still use it for its smart assistant capabilities, even though I didn't really use it so much for that. I used it to play that radio station, a little bit of music here and there, but and you know, if I want to control the LifeX bulbs, I could, but mainly I used it linked up with the Amazon Echo Dot that I have at my desk. So what I would do is I would have this connected via Bluetooth across the room on that back table with the Echo Dot, and then when I would say the wake word, it would just play that audio instead of through the little tiny dinky speaker in the Echo Dot. It would play it through the much better quality speaker that got a lot louder, had better bass, just a much better sounding speaker. And I bought this because it gave me the ability to have a much better speaker with this dot in a great looking design, and being back with the Harmon Kardon audio quality. I will tell you that if I had to choose which one sounds better, I would go with the standard Google Home. The Google Home the Google Home standard speaker sounds better than this, and it only has 3 speakers. This has a lot more speakers going on it, if I remember correctly. But the bass output of the Google Home, they really knocked it out of the park with that. It puts out so much bass that sometimes it'll wobble, it'll start to walk. So be careful where you put it and what you listen to. But it is a great sounding speaker, and I don't think that there's anybody out there making a speaker that is a smart speaker that sounds that good. There's other companies, like I have a couple JBL ones. The JBL makes their, I forget the name of it, their JBL, it's like got the screen and all that. And that never caught on too. That was a great price, but I love it. That sounds good too. But you know, I had really high hopes for the sound quality in this, and then when I did a review, I was like, hey, you know, great way to do a smart speaker is don't spend the extra money on the Amazon smart speaker. Get the standard Google or the standard Amazon, what's it called, the Dot or the Puck, one of the two. It was like $10. Use that with its Bluetooth capability to cast that audio to this for $40. So under $50, you're going to be getting a killer sounding smart speaker. Now, I'm not going to say that this didn't sound good. It did sound good, but I think that the bass output from the Google Home was better. I think the Google Home, for my ears, sounded better. My real gripe with this is that this isn't even a year old. And one day I came home and it had the green ring on it. And so there's not a lot of information online about what the green ring means. Sometimes it would be white spinning, sometimes it would be green. Ultimately, this thing finally just died. It got to the point where it just one day became unresponsive, and then suddenly it is completely lifeless now. When you plug it in, nothing happened. So I had contacted the seller without any luck. And then I contacted Harmon Kardon. I actually bought another one, and here's the thing with these. There is some real quality control going on with these, and a real design flaw. I don't know if it's something that they've done with a firmware upgrade or what, but I would never buy another one of these. And I would really question on whether you should buy a Harmon Kardon smart speaker if it's done by, you know, if it's integrating the Amazon smart assistant or the Google Assistant. After this thing, I mean, all my other products have lasted great. They still work after years. This, not even 6 months, and it just became, this is a paperweight now. You can't do anything with this. Harmon Kardon, of all companies, I'm just shocked that they would not back their warranty on this. They claimed that because this came from an eBay seller, that eBay seller was not an authorized dealer, they won't honor the warranty. I got two different stories from Harmon Kardon. One, we don't honor the warranty. I explained to them this is not fair. You know, I've given them what they needed as far as the proof. I sent them the screenshot from the eBay listing. I gave them the proof. Obviously, I own it. Obviously, with the screenshot I sent them, I bought it through my account, through the, you know, you can verify all that. Obviously, I own it. I'm right here with it, right? Obviously, it's a Harmon Kardon product. Now, this isn't some like other company that, it's not a replica. They didn't put their name on it, but you know, and this is made by Joe Schmo Speakers, right? This is a Harmon Kardon speaker. It had the serial number on it. I gave them the serial number. I gave them the MAC address, and they verified that that's a legitimate serial number. So obviously it's their product, but they won't honor the warranty because it didn't come from an authorized dealer. So what that means is that when you order this thing through an eBay seller and you're like, oh, it's a really great deal, or maybe it's a factory refurbished, whatever the reason may be, that you're not getting the factory warranty. So basically, why would you spend your money on something that's not going to be backed? Obviously, this, again, is a Harmon Kardon Invoke speaker. The company knows when I bought it, they have the proof, but they refuse to honor the warranty. So just something to think about when you're going to be buying products. I would have been absolutely irate if I spent $250 on this and it failed, to no fault of my own. You know, buyer beware again. You know, sellers, you know, you think that they're legitimate sellers, you think it's okay for them to sell their products, and they're not. It's not okay. And you would think a company like Harmon Kardon would be actively going through eBay and finding out, hey, you know, who's this? Do we know this? Is this a reputable seller? Is this somebody that we're in business with? Absolutely, they don't do anything like that. So there's nothing to protect the consumers buying their products, and that's really unfortunate. It's to the point now with this, with my experience with them and getting the back and forth. First, they said, well, we can't honor the warranty. I explained to them this isn't fair. I explained my side. I gave them the information provided. Then they made excuses for why they need a invoice, like a PayPal invoice from the device. And I was only able to get them the screen prints. I don't know what else they want. I mean, that's proof that I bought it through the eBay listing. They're not willing to do anything. Then I argued my case. They said, well, we do make exceptions for certain customers based on their experience, what has happened. I said, well, that's great. I really appreciate that. They still wanted more, some kind of proof that I bought it. Like, I just don't know how much more clear, a screenshot from a eBay listing can possibly be with my username on it, you know, I mean, and my information. So ultimately, they just want to get out from taking care of a customer. And this is something that, again, lasted 6 months. You can see it's like brand new. And probably in 6 months, I probably said the wake word, which is, hey, Cortana. I probably said that maybe 6 times. So it didn't get a lot of use. Very disappointed. It makes me question the reliability of Harmon Kardon products. And for what you pay, because you do pay more for Harmon Kardon products, I probably wouldn't risk it ever again buying another one of their products. And if I did, I would make sure that I didn't buy their products from any kind of online retailer, because there's a lot of online retailers that probably sell their products and don't have the authorization to, they're not legitimate sellers. So you can be buying from a very well-known, reputable eBay seller, reputable shop, or audio shop, but ultimately, unless you really do the research and find out if they're authorized to sell that product, you know, and that's pretty hard, because a business isn't going to provide you with some kind of certificate, and you don't really know what the proof is. The only thing you could probably do is, if you want to buy something, you find out, okay, well, you know, this is the seller, and probably call Harmon Kardon and say, hey, is this seller reputable? Maybe they'll tell you. But otherwise, you know, if you buy from big box stores like Best Buy, you're usually pretty safe. But, you know, a lot of times we buy online to get a deal. So, you know, buyer beware. I guess, you know, shame on me for, I probably should have just not bought it. Granted, still it was only $40 still, but it's still $40 that I'm out with a device that's useless. So again, you know, if your one thing of Harmon Kardon was like, hey, you know what, that's really sucks, send it in, you know, pay the shipping on it, we'll at least fix it for you. They just basically are like, sorry, deal with the seller. So really unfortunate. It is their product. It is a Harmon Kardon Invoke, and it is something that just doesn't work. Unresponsive. I mean, you couldn't even wipe it clean. You couldn't even reformat it. Just nothing would work on it. So, and that to me tells me that there's a real serious design flaw with these things. And the fact that I bought a second one and the same thing happened. I sent that back. Luckily, I got my money back for that. But just obviously something that's, you know, people, you know, there's lots of, like, Best Buy sells refurbished items too, you know. So that makes me now nervous. Like, if you ever buy a refurbished item, is the manufacturer going to warrant that, or should you always buy the warranty? Either way, really disappointing. I wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on that. If you are thinking about buying one of these products, I highly recommend you do not. I would go ahead and buy the Google Assistant. Google really takes care of their customers. I've had nothing but great luck on anything I purchase from Google, and they back their product. So something to be said about buying from a company like that. And honestly, really, I mean, this is a ripoff for $250 because your Google Smart Home, I've seen those as low as like $69. Your Google Smart Speaker, it sounds better than this, honestly. So don't waste your money on this. I'm terribly sorry that I had to share this with you guys. If you own this, if you've had good luck, by all means, I'm very happy for you. Send it to me, I'll take it. But unfortunately, I will never buy another Harmon Kardon product. So guys, thanks for watching the video. If you have any experience with them or any kind of problems, go ahead and drop me a comment. I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, you guys have a great evening. Take care. If you do like the content, subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you are in the market for a smart speaker, my recommendation is that you do not buy the Cortana product. You do not buy a Harmon Kardon product. Buy the product that's designed to work with the Google Assistant and the Amazon Assistant. Who knows, maybe the Google and Amazon Assistants that they make that you're paying a premium for, maybe they're going to crap out too and have an issue, and then you will be out of luck. Hopefully you won't be. Hopefully they'll honor their warranty, but what's the point of having a warranty if it's not, you know, obviously they're taking the stance that like it's not transferable. A product should be, it should be able to be fixed regardless. It's a Harmon Kardon product. It's the product. That shouldn't matter who owns it. If it's broken, you can look at the serial, you can tell, hey, this was made in this date, we're going to honor it, we're going to fix it. We heard this story, you know, what did I abuse it? What did I, you know, throw it around the house? This sits on a desk. These are not that old. This is pretty much a new product. Just really disappointing. So it is what it is. So what are you going to do? These things happen in life. Sometimes there's great reputable companies. Sometimes companies really take care of their customers, and sometimes they don't. And that's why videos like this are great, to let people know everybody's experience. So if you do have a problem, you're like, you know, maybe you hear my story. Maybe when you're in the market for buying a home receiver, you say, hey, you know, I don't know, that guy had an issue with that company. Maybe I'll try a different brand like Sony. Listen to what people have to say, take it into consideration, and be a smart shopper, and always make the best educated choice you can. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and take care.